I have been waiting for you. I am filled with grief at the loss of our most celebrated knight. Geralt was an ally of many years, and also a dear friend.
When did you meet him? Give us some answers.
It was a long while back. At the time, Geralt was a soldier of the kingdom. He was injured in battle, and I saved him just as he was about to perish. That was our first meeting. After that, he became a knight of Seiros. He gave his all in service of the church.
Why did he leave the knights?
He fell in love with one of the nuns here at Garreg-Mach. Their love produced a child, whom she died giving birth to. It was her decision. She weighed her own life against that of her child's and, in the end, implored me to save the child. Your father never truly accepted that decision. He took the child, took you, and disappeared without warning.
Who was my mother?
Your mother. She was my...
I'm sorry for the interruption, Lady Rhea. There's something you must hear immediately. A report from the knights patrolling the area.
Very well. Professor, you are dismissed for the day.
I still want answers, but I'll let you go this time because it might be serious.
Please rest and focus only on mending your heart. Understood?
Alright, there are no more cutscenes. I kind of want to say something. Okay, this is to chapter 10. But what I want to say is, I will give the game this. The Geralt death scene, if it wasn't for the betrayals, the death scene of Geralt and the notebook where they're explaining more about Byleth as a child and a baby, and how he was like, how Geralt left the knights and how the baby never cried. Basically, when you're reading the diary and when he dies, it's a really well done scene. It's so well done. I like the impact it has. It has a lot of impact if you've been following the game. And I feel like Geralt died at a good time, and that's terrible to say. I feel bad saying that, but I feel like Geralt died. I feel like the point of the story Geralt died was okay. I feel like it really just was a good end for his character arc and all that. And I really do appreciate the fact that, like, oh, not appreciate, but I think the fact that, like, oh, Geralt dies, and it's kind of like, Geralt dies, and it's kind of like a sign that, oh, Byleth doesn't have his father with him because he didn't have his mother for a while. So he doesn't have the one person who's been taking care of him. So he's on his own. So I do like that sense of maturity and moving on. The theme that the game is going for. But, like, the only thing is, like, Monica and Tomas. More Monica because she's the one that kills him. But I feel like they could have found another way for him to die, I guess. Just Monica's betrayal. And I guess Tomas's betrayal were just very lackluster, IMO. But either way, the scenes are really well done, and they get me every time. They pretty much get me as hard as the FF7R Sector 7 plate. You all know what scene I'm talking about.
Part 1. White Cloud.
If you played FF7R.
Guardian Moon. Where the goddess dwells.
Yeah, the deaths of Jesse, Biggs, and Wedge were well done, I agree.
The Guardian.
They were all well done. Jesse, Biggs, and Wedge. Their send-offs made me cry as well. That's what I compare this to. It's such a good emotional impact.
Seiros made an appearance during this moon. She had been summoned by the goddess, whose soul was suffering as the flames of war raged across Fodlan. Some believe that high in the sky above Seiros, the Immaculate One's mighty wings are what powered the strong winds carrying the Guardian and her forces into battle.
Also, hearing Geralt narrate each chapter is gonna bring a slight tear to my eye. Alright, so we still have like an hour and 40 minutes. We can make some considerable progress in chapter 10. We still have like an hour left. Like more than an hour left, almost 2 hours. So we can make considerable progress in this chapter. Leonie, sure. Oh, this is gonna be sad.
Hey, Professor, got a minute? Look, I'm sorry I snapped at you. I didn't mean to lose my temper. I was rude to you. I should have known better.
It's alright. I understand.
Huh, I thought you might say that. In that way, you're just like Captain Gerald. You accept other people. You don't let petty details get under your skin.
How do you know my father?
Well, when I was a kid, I kind of latched onto him. I've been calling myself his apprentice ever since. He spent some time in the village I grew up in. Actually, you weren't with him back then. Why not?
Yeah, I don't remember much about my past.
Huh. Maybe he left you with a relative or something.
Possibly.
Anyway, back then, Gerald's job was to deal with poachers. Well, they were bandits, but we called them poachers. Nobody in the village could stand up to them. But your dad, he took them on like it was nothing. I was so impressed. All I could think was how amazing mercenaries were. I'd lived in that tiny village my whole life, so to me, Captain Gerald was nothing short of a legend. So I went right up to him and I told him I was going to be his apprentice. He didn't stick around long after that, but he did teach me a lot while he was with us. Tactics, strategy, training routines, it was all so new and exciting. So after he left, I kept at it, kept training, just like he taught me.
I am glad you got to see him again.
Me too. I always planned to meet him again once I became a top-tier mercenary. But I'm just glad I got to see him, to thank him properly and all. I've spent my whole life working to become a great mercenary like your father. There were so many times when I wanted to ask his advice, but I couldn't. I just had to make do. That's how I've made it this far. Just hard work, all on my own. But then you come along. And it's like you don't appreciate Captain Gerald at all, or how lucky you were to have him around your whole life. Oh, it still really bothers me.
Leonie, I don't want to talk about this. I was just talking about how emotional that death scene with Gerald was. Like, I don't want to hear any of this.
You might be his kid, but I'm still his best apprentice. Got it?
I don't understand why she apologized for snapping, and she basically snapped again there. I like Leonie, but sometimes she's way out of line. Her loyalty to Captain Gerald can sometimes be a flaw.
Day 5 of the Garland Moon, year 1157. Clear skies. I picked some flowers for her and returned home. The look of joy on her face at the sight of these flowers will be even more beautiful than the flowers themselves. Yeesh, that is enough. His entries from before your birth are full of such romantic blatherings as that. Oh, it must be deeply moving you to hear such things, but now is not the time for whimsy. Someone is here. You do not wish for them to see you in this state, so pull yourself together.
So this,
I
you don't...
might find you here, Teach.
So this, you don't understand a thing, so you probably shouldn't talk?
Not the type to wallow in solitude, huh? That's a relief, let me tell you. So, what were you reading? Is that Gerald's?
Diary. Yeah.
So it is. Hey, maybe this has some entries from when Gerald left the monastery. Is that so? He was the captain of the knights, but something made him leave the monastery in a hurry. If it has something to do with your birth, knowing what happened may get us closer to knowing what secrets the church is hiding. Teach, would you mind letting me read that diary? I know how important it is to you, but I'm not asking lightly. Please allow me to borrow it. I'm forever in your debt, Teach. If you'd refused, I would have had to sneak in here in the dead of night. I wasn't looking forward to the prospect.
Alright, so you're not taking no for an answer then.
Anyhow, let me fill you in on what's been going on lately, and not just as thanks for pointing me to that diary. Rhea dispatched the Knights to various locations in a frantic search for the enemy. There's a rumor that she's already secured some information. Something big is going to happen soon. That has me wondering, if you find out where the enemy is, what will you do about it? If you ask, No, scratch that. All of us students would gladly lend a hand, even if that means going against Rhea's wishes. Don't forget it. Now go. Everyone's worried about you. You'd better show them you're in good spirits.
Oh, thank you. You saved me.
If you were to die, then the mystery of our bodies would be revealed. Preventing that was my only aim. I'm afraid you must remain, Kronya. There is something I need you to do.
Oh, of course. I'm always happy to cooperate with Solon. Leave it to me.
How annoying.
Flame Emperor, is she offending you? Unfortunately, we cannot take our eyes off her, so there is nothing to be done. You are our greatest creation. We use the defiled beast's blood as the fuel to your flame, that you may burn even the gods. Now is the time to cleanse Fodlan with that power and bring forth our salvation.
There will be no salvation for you and your kind. Those responsible for such gruesome deeds in Dusker and Enmar.
All so that you may acquire the strength you need, all for a purpose.
More villain time, trying to build up their villains. I'm not saying the villains suck. I'm just saying that the way Monica and Tomas were on your side and then they just betrayed you, or maybe they were against you all the time. I'm not really sure what the gist was, but the fact that they just turn out to be bad is very, very kind of poorly done compared to other betrayals. IMO. That's enough about that. I'm not going to be talking about that anymore.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you.
Because that involves going into spoiler territory if I talk too much about it, and I do not want to do that.
It's a bit hot.
Why am I not connected to my Twitch chat? What is happening?
No.
Alright, failed.
Yes. Yes, I agree.
Easy. Also easy. What is going on with my Twitch chat? I can't connect. What? Alright, that was so weird. Now it says I'm connected to chat. That's odd. I don't know what just happened there. But we are going to continue the game. YouTube, I'm probably just uploading this to a like splicing it with another video. I have to check really quick how long the other part was just to know. So I'm going to mute myself and I'll be like a minute. Alright, so it's 3 hours and 30 minutes. So that means 3 hours and 33 minutes? Yeah, 3 hours and 30 minutes. Hold up. Yeah, it was 3 hours and 33 minutes. So that means to make a 5-hour stream, I have to do 1 hour and 27 minutes. Alright, so basically an hour and a half. Let's just explore the monastery. We're gonna see how this affected everyone, which probably not good. Alright then.
If you must weep, then weep. I shall be here for you.
I appreciate that.
Well, it would be ridiculous to not feel anything after something like that. Go on and let it out. I am here.
Alright, at least she's being sympathetic. Look for Gerald's belongings for his quarters. Okay. I still have to find that wood carving book as well. Oh, this is gonna be so hard for Leone. I'm already feeling for Leone right now. Alright, let's start with quest first, as always. Not really as always, but in this case we are.
Do you have time for a request?
Practice battle moves with the Adrestian Empires. Alright, that's a battle, so we're gonna battle. We're definitely gonna battle at least once this month, because I always battle at least once a month at this rate, because there are paralogs to go on and stuff like that. So, you know. Any other quests I can do? Let's just talk to people here.
Professor.
Is Bernadetta not in her room? Hell, Bernadetta's not in her room. Good for her. A board game piece. I wonder what that's for.
I'm sure you will pull through this because you're so strong, Professor. Best to stay calm during such tumultuous and upsetting times. We don't know the nature of our enemies. If we underestimate them, anything could happen.
You should be careful.
Yes, I agree. I don't want to lose you too, Professor.
Great to see Lysithea understands.
What?
Alright, so we have one who looks up to the knights and a tactical mind. Could be Claude, but that's just taking a guess. It might not be Claude.
Professor, I've sung lyrics lamenting death many times on stage. But when something like this happens in real life, I'm lost. I don't know what to say, but I do know this much. Sir Gerald must have been very proud to have you as his child. Are you sure?
Yeah, take the owl feather. You deserve it. So have to find a way to get that wood carving book. Or just learn about the dude. Yeah, the wood carving. Find the book about wood carving. I still have to find a way to do that, though. Look at Bernadetta outside her room. Good for her.
Professor, I brought some flowers for Gerald.
Oh, that's nice. I appreciate it. Thank you.
It's the least I can do. Sometimes I feel like all I do is run away.
That's probably why she's outside of her room.
Anyway, I'll go lay them out.
Yeah, it's obviously not yours. I just tried it because, you know, force of habit. Hi, Linhart.
I slipped quietly into the vault and rummaged about, looking for anything we might find useful. There is a group of people who want to kill us, after all. What? This is no time for asking permission. I learned long ago that one can ask permission or forgiveness. It is rarely useful to request the former. Still, it appears the knights have already taken everything useful. There were crest-related objects I thought might be worth studying, so... There you go again with that stern look. Of course I'll put them back when I'm done, assuming they bear no additional use. Huh? Your class, however...
Yeah, I don't expect to be able to join your class anytime soon. I don't think you have a tactical mind. Let's go visit... Oh wow, there aren't many people in the monastery today, it looks like. It feels like a lot less than normal. Well, I mean, there's no Monica and no Tomas, but that's only 2 people, and Gerald.
Excuse me, Professor. How are you holding up?
I'm holding up.
I know how heavily grief weighs upon one's heart. I lost my mother some time ago. It was... Forgive me my moment of weakness. Even all these years later, I cannot recall that time without feeling the pain, as if it were brand new. Just know that I am praying for your mind and your heart to find peace.
I'm gonna raise my faith for, Annette. That's how we get Annette on our side, eventually.
I still have
I got heal, nice.